That's the Ron Jeremy with maybe 1/8 of the penis. That's kind of what we're going for there. It is tough to be compared to a guy who was historically ugly, but his saving grace was a huge dick, and my dick is little. Not a great.
Well, I think back then, porn stars, they wanted them to be ugly, so the guys didn't feel bad.
Didn't feel
if some
threatened.
good-looking guy, like if you're at home whacking off with some good-looking guy is getting laid, you're like, fuck him.
Who the fuck is this guy? Who does he think he is?
Look at
Getting
him with
pussy.
a six-pack, piece of shit.
Yeah.
You want a guy who looks like Ron Jeremy.
That's true. Maybe we can take it to the next level. Maybe there's little dick porn has to start now.
I think they already have that in other countries.
In other, you mean just all Japanese porn? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that. You did. Boy, I don't know why you said that.
I felt it.
You know what's weird about Japanese porn is they have to blur out.
Censor.
They have to blur out the dicks and the vaginas.
Yeah.
They blur out penetration.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
What happened?
I don't understand it. I mean, what are you protecting by making confusion as to like whether or not someone's I mean, you really don't have to have any real porn because it's all blurred out.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I have jacked off to the blurred out porn.
Interesting.
And it's not. Yeah, now we're
Did you
getting
have no
into my
other
zone.
choice?
Yeah, I don't
Did
know.
your hard drive crash?
Sometimes I'm in the zone, Joe. Sometimes you want to switch it up, you know. I like a big pillowy Asian titty to jack off to, you know. And you can't really get you want to get those straight from the source, you know.
I see
you
what
want to
you're
get
saying.
Japanese stuff. They're making cool
From
noises.
Japan.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want someone who's been BBL'd in the
I don't.
titties.
Listen, I didn't say that. I'm just saying I want it all. Give me a sampler pack.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of authentic.
Grass-fed.
Authentic
You know what I
cuisine.
mean? Yeah.
You want to go to Chinatown sometimes if you want Chinese
Absolutely.
food.
Yeah, sometimes you want to go to
You don't want
Beijing.
Panda Express.
No,
You want to get the real deal.
No, the Panda Express will hit the spot.
It's not bad every now and then if you're at the mall. And you want some orange chicken.
If you're at the mall, getting your dick sucked by a Zara employee in the bathroom.
Jesus Christ.
Just taking the metaphor to its logical conclusion.
Go as far as you can go with it. I support your thought process.
But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I feel worldly jacking off to Japanese porn. You know, like watching a foreign film.
Like a guy who a guy who brags about reading old books.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's like watching a Godard film or whatever, you know?
When I first met Callan, first time I ever went over his apartment, he leaves books laying out as if he's reading them. He had like Steinbeck of Mice and Men, and I go, "Hey, motherfucker, I know you're not reading this."
Also, that's what you read in high school.
His eyebrows raised. He goes, "I do read it." I go, "You don't, do you? You want people to think you're interesting, so you leave these books out."
Yeah, which
you
by
do,
the way,
right?
Huh?
And by people, I mean girls.
Of course,
like you want girls to think you're interesting, so you leave these books out, pretending that you're like worldly.
You know what's so funny is that I have an e-reader thing, and I was reading some book about I was reading about Goodfellas or some trashy or not even trashy but like a detective thing, and then I switched it up to something smart on the outside, some shit about civil rights or something like that.
So that people would know. You can switch it on the outside.
You can switch it on the outside. It's just I've done that before.
What does the outside look like?
It's just like a screen. So
there's an outside screen too.
Yeah, just the screen. Right, of the e-reader, and it'll just show what you're reading.
Right.
And I was reading like
Garbage.
I said, some fucking book about I was reading about the Phoenix Sun, 7 seconds or less. I read a lot of basketball books, that kind of shit. And then a girl was coming over. I was like, let's do some fucking. I don't even know what I had. Some book I started, never even finished. I was like,
let's pretend I'm smart.
Or even shit girls like a Murakami book.
What's a Murakami?
He's
book?
good, dude. Those are good books. They're like dreamy Japanese book. Back to the Japanese thing. I don't know. It's a book about the guy does a lot of magic. It's like some magical realism shit. It's always like a guy who there's always an insane woman who has BPD, and it's always some nerd. And in the book, the nerd always fucks the girl really well. I don't know what that is about. Check it out, man.
These are Men Without Women.
Haruki Murakami. Great stuff.
What I talk about when I talk about running.
I haven't read that one.
Huh. Norwegian Wood.
Norwegian Wood's
I know
good.
that guy. I've seen his work.
yeah. It's blurred out, but
he's the reason why Ron Jeremy had a career.
Yeah, just some blonde 6'4" guy.
Some Fabio-looking motherfucker with a giant hog.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in Norwegian Wood, he fucks two He fucks an old lady and a young woman.
Wow.
Yeah. That shows you what I'm getting out of literature, by the way. It's just that who's the main character's getting pussy out of. There's some fucking like professor listening to this, like, that guy's dumb as shit. That's what he gets out of Murakami, but what can I say?
Hey.
They're nice dreamlike books.
Art is open to interpretation. Different people get different things.
I'm a simple man. I see things through one lens.
You should be you.
Yeah.
You don't need to be those motherfuckers. How many professors have you ever met that are happy? They seem perpetually conflicted.
Yeah, just the ones
tortured.
Just the ones who fuck their students, I'm pretty sure.
And they can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
that was like the main reason to be a professor. Back in the Feynman days, like, those guys all banged their graduate students. That was like part of the thing.
It's like, look,
really hot 22-year-old students that are enamored by this amazing professor with his PhD and a full library of books that he probably hasn't even read either. He actually probably has read them, which is even more incredible. He's not running a scam.
Exactly. That's the payoff. Yeah, you think in the like application process or the interview process, they're like, look, we can't offer you that much money, but here's a picture of all the girls that got in this year. Here's how good. Here's the quality.
No, not only do they get paid well, they get tenure, so they can't even get fired. But I bet they can get fired now if they bang their students.
Yeah. Also, I feel like I think higher ed in general is fucked.
When do you think they stopped banging their students? Was it the same time they stopped fucking kids?
Definitely after that. I think that was like
more recent.
I think that was more recent. I think people are still picking their spots and fucking their students.
Really?
Grads. I think it's up to grad student now, though. I don't think you can fuck an undergrad.
When I was in high school, my friend, she was 17. She was dating a Spanish teacher.
That guy should go to jail.
He was cool. He was the cool Spanish teacher.
Always bringing in paella.
He was like 25. I mean, relatively, the age gap wasn't that big.
Yeah. Still, she's a student at the school.
Yeah, but she was a little predator.
Yeah, she was.
But
I think at that time it was that's the last hurrah of
the 80s.
Yeah.
Once people started reading about the effects of it, like, hey.
This is kind of strange.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Maybe fuck a 21-year-old.
Yeah, no, also, if, like, you're a teacher and you can affect their grades, how often does that happen?
Yeah,
that must have been a big factor.
Oh, yeah.
Big factor.
Oh, yeah.
You're a professor, and if you're banging a student, you give her A's?
Yeah. Seems,
And if she's a sociopath and she just wants to get ahead no matter what.
Sure. Yeah. Look, there's definitely it's the thing where you're like the guy's got to stop it because it's like, just because somebody wants to fuck you doesn't mean it's right.
Well, it's also like if you're a professor and you're literally that's like you're setting up their career.
Yeah.
And you just hold too much juice over whether or not they're going to get an A and whether or not
the
that's
power
going to
dynamics
allow
all fucked.
It's crazy.